Welcome, everybody, to the Mullins Over Music podcast. It is episode 99. We're one away from episode 100. And what better way to have episode 99 than with my friend Gil of Ghost in the Willow? You guys already know our mutual friend Riley has been on the podcast. We talked about Ghost in the Willow a little bit. We're going to deep dive a little more, and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. So, check it out. Welcome, everybody, to the Mullins Over Music podcast. I'm your host, as always, Austin Mullins, the man with the plan, if you will. And I'm here with a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend. If they don't already know, I'm pretty sure they
Oh,
already know. They clicked on the video.
well, they don't know me. They're probably just curious about you and what kind of talking head do you got on this time. My name is Gil. I play in a band called Ghost in the Willow. I sing and play guitar out of Phoenix, Arizona, and nervously, curiously interested in, being here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I love the music you make.
Thank
You,
you.
Riley's in the band, good friend of mine.
Hmm.
You know, I'm glad to have you.
For sure. Riley's a good person to know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, we always start the podcast off with the two most important questions of the entire podcast. This is what people come for,
Oh, is
or
that right?
not. I'm
Okay.
not really sure. Nobody said it one way or the other. I can't really tell. So, the first one is the fun fact question. I told you about it. I need one fun fact about yourself.
Man, I really had to dig deep on that one. I wouldn't call it fun, but I've only got one kidney and it's not mine, so that counts.
That is a fact.
This
It,
is a fact. I wouldn't call it
I
fun,
don't
but
know
yeah.
if it's fun, but
Yeah.
I've thought about changing it from fun fact to one unfun fact because I feel
Heck,
like people can come up with unfun facts more than they can the fun facts. Not that
I
fun
think
facts
that's
are
true
cool.
depending on your mentality. I guess me, like I don't focus on fun too much. It's hard for me to focus on fun and what's fun. So all I know is the facts, so to speak.
A fact is a fact, and that's a matter of fact.
Put that on a sticker.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna sell that. I'm gonna start selling that as a sticker now.
It's a good
I want to
idea.
put our faces right on either side, and we'll make some money off of it.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Okay, so the next question I have, it's always the fun question, the random question, if you will. It's had many names. All of them kind of suck. Uh, this question is, if you were suddenly transported transported to another planet, how would you assess the situation?
Well, depending on the planet, I
Let's
probably wouldn't.
assume it's a planet you can breathe on.
Oh, okay. All right. Right. Yeah. Okay. I gotta have parameters here because I'm like,
You
if we're
might
talking
not you
existing ones,
might not
I
be
wouldn't have
able
time to
to
assess
assess
them.
it.
Yeah.
You get put on a
Wouldn't have.
planet with no air.
Yeah.
There's nothing to assess. You're dead.
Yeah. It's like, and we're done here. But what a way to go. So if I was on a planet that I could breathe in, what would I assess first? Probably my foot grounding.
Okay. Yeah. That is important. I mean, well,
Breathing is one thing, but you have to, stand upright. So
this is true. It's like what was that movie? It wasn't it had to be not Interstellar. It may have been in Interstellar. It's been a
it may
while.
have been. I don't think if it's Interstellar, I don't think I've seen that one all the way through, but I feel like I've seen enough clips
I
of it to
fell
get the
asleep.
gist.
I keep falling asleep from like the time Matt Damon's character shows up
Oh yeah.
till the end of Matt Damon's character. I'm like, I missed this whole section of movie here, and I'm just
Right, right.
completely in the
And
dark
it's
except
also
for the
it's
clips.
also very crucial from what I understand. I read the synopsis on Wiki, so I'm like, I feel like that's a very crucial part of the film.
See, I hate putting on a. I love movies. I could talk
Hmm.
about movies all the time. I even thought about doing a movie podcast separate from this, but
Okay.
I can't. I feel so bad when I fall asleep during a movie or I'm putting a movie on in the background because I feel like it deserves more of my attention and thought that when I put it on in the background and I'm not fully paying attention to it, I feel like I'm doing it a disservice, which is
I
why I
think
hate TV shows.
Yeah, like I could agree with you on that because I feel like in some weird way, music can be background because you don't have to visualize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas a movie, it's pretty much all visual, so you have to be engaged with it, to kind of not necessarily follow along, especially if it's a movie that you've seen many times. You kind of know what happens. I guess it kind of there's a lot of things that depend. There are some films that you just have to sit and watch, and no
Yeah.
matter what's on, like Godfather comes on, it's like, okay, well, I guess we're watching this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To go the other end, when I'm in a hotel and the Birdcage comes on, that's an immediate like, and I'm stopping what I'm doing to watch this. So,
Yeah.
but I rarely fall asleep during movies because you have to, at least when I go out to watch a movie like in the theater, which I still do, um, you're paying to
My
be
bad.
there, so you don't necessarily want to fall asleep. But at home, yeah, no, I don't think I could fall asleep to a movie. My grandparents used to always fall asleep with the TV on. I think, and out of spite, I never want to fall asleep watching the TV or while watching a movie. So I just keep myself awake.
I respect that. I've only fallen asleep in a movie theater twice. And
Okay.
the first time was when I was young, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2
Okay.
midnight premiere. I was
Okay.
not used to midnight premieres as like a
Oh, okay.
I don't remember when that movie came out. But I wasn't more than 10. Let me see.
I think it was like 20,
Deathly.
was that 2012? 29?
No, no.
The Deathly Hollows.
It
Oh,
must have been part one because
part one. I think that was like, yeah, the late aughts then, like oh
yeah,
nine then?
2010.
2010. Okay.
So I was 10. Um,
All right.
I fell asleep during like the midway point of that film, I think.
Hmm.
And my friend woke me up a couple times. So I did still see most of the movie, but I was a kid. I was tired. I've been
To
up
be
all night.
fair, like it has a darker visual tone. So when you're young, like it's kind of like being lights out. Like
Yeah,
so
exactly.
so you're gonna fall asleep. It's not bright and colorful that you want to keep your eye on things. You know what I mean? So it's kind of dark
Yeah.
and nefarious.
The
So,
second movie was Return to Silent Hill. It just came out this year.
oh wow.
So boring. I was watching it in the movie theater. It's so badly made and so poor, like the CGI is terrible.
Right, right.
It's just so damn boring. And I fell asleep and I woke up like 15 minutes later and I didn't miss anything apparently because
Hmm.
I I felt like
You
we
were
were
still
still in the
able to
same
really follow
spot.
along. Yeah.
I mean, it's the Silent Hill 2 plot, so if you know the video game, you've seen it before, but
Okay.
it's
Fair
just
enough.
10 times more boring.
Definitely boring. Interesting. All right. Well, that's good to know. I mean, yeah, I
I
rarely
highly
fall asleep in the
recommend it.
theaters, but yeah, I'll check it out. It does seem pretty interesting. So I think any excuse I can have to get out to a movie theater, is always a
Oh
good
yeah,
time.
you're gonna have to
I,
watch that one at home.
oh, okay.
I did see what was that? I just went to the movie theater. I saw Supergirl in theaters. That was pretty cool.
Oh, how was that? Good.
I thought that it was pretty good, but I have a feeling most people will think otherwise
Okay.
because there's not like a huge villain. I wouldn't really even consider it like a superhero movie. I'd consider it more of a buddy cop action, like a buddy action film road trip kind of thing
Okay.
with
I
a
feel like a
slight
lot of
revenge plot.
sometimes I feel like a lot of movies are retrofitted into what they want it to be. Like the script could have been written as, like, for example, in this case, it probably could have been written as, oh, let's have a buddy comedy that we wrote, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, this won't sell. But you know what? What if we make it a superhero thing and like put this person in it and that person, but they still do this adventure, but it's bookended by in this context. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, it's just that you the villain's not a very recognizable villain. When you've got superhero movies, people tend to go like, "Oh, if it's Superman, I want to see Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Brainiac, and then when you see Supergirl, you're like, I don't even know a Supergirl like centered villain,
I couldn't tell you either.
and then
But
Lobo's
I feel
in
like a
it,
lot of
which
that
is
is also
weird.
they're trying to set it up so that there is one in the next film if they get to have one. So
Yeah. Lobo's in the film. He's cool. He's played by Jason Momoa, who plays any
yeah,
character like Jason Momoa does.
yeah. It's a Jason Momoa-esque character by Jason Momoa.
Yeah. I mean, he fits the character, but he's just it's Jason Momoa. He has that
Yeah.
Jason Momoa-ness to him.
Yeah, yeah, the vibe, the
Like The
President
Rock
Smith.
has the Rock vibe to it.
Yeah, you
You
can't
can't
put
see
The
him as
Rock.
anything else.
Yeah, you can't put The Rock in a rom-com and buy that it's, the guy at the deli around the corner who, falls in love with the executive, you know?
I feel like somebody needs to take these people who can't play, like, everybody sees them as themselves, and just
Hmm.
put them in roles that make absolutely no sense as a person, as
Yeah,
they are. I think it would do great. Like, have The Rock be like this sad, mopey character the whole time, just completely the antithesis of him. Have
yeah, that
Kevin
could, yeah,
Hart not crack a single joke in an entire film, just be
yeah,
straight laced. Have
that, see, and that's how comedians are great actors when they don't get to play a comedian, or when
yeah.
they don't get to be funny.
He was in that movie where Bryan Cranston plays the paralyzed dude,
Yeah,
the neck
yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Great movie. Kevin Hart plays a great job in that film from what I've seen of it.
I
I,
remember the cover of it, and then it
I've
kind of
seen all the clips of the film. I don't feel like I need to watch it anymore.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's kind of the thing now. It's like you've seen so many of the clips that you just kind of you've seen it without seeing it.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to some music stuff. We'll probably come
Sure.
back to movies because, hey, we're having a good time chatting about them.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start off with my favorite question. We're moving this straight to the front,
All right.
and that is this is a two-parter, so think about it for a second. I want your favorite song you've written and your least favorite song you've written.
All right.
Holy
I can
shit.
usually think of my favorite song, but because it's on the new record. But you know what? I got to go on the check my catalog. I have to check my catalog here. Make sure
I
I don't
mean,
leave
I know
anything
what
out.
my favorite is off the new record.
Let me see here. Okay, okay, that one. Okay, that one was a good one. All right, hang on, hang on. All right. Ooh, that was nice.
Love Kills is
Um,
my favorite off the new record.
I was gonna say that one. That one is probably my favorite that I can think of off the top of my head. Probably tied with Still Here, only because those two took a lot more thought to fully flesh out. Because usually, also sometimes a lot of my songs come to me very quickly in the sense that in 30 minutes I'll have an intro and a verse and a chorus, and then if I know that's good, then I can just fill everything else in around it, and then let the band do their thing to make it interesting.
Yeah.
um my least favorite, I'd have to say there's one off our first record. Let me see here. I don't, without really naming it, but probably on the first one, Blue, Red, and Beige. We have an album called Missing Persons, which is like an EP, I guess. It's got 7 songs.
Yeah.
Um, the Blue, Red, and Beige, like I haven't listened to it in a while. We haven't played it in God, probably
Since it
seven,
came
eight
out.
years since it came out. Yeah, that one quickly fell out of favor on set lists anyway. But the band was a completely different lineup back then anyway. It was the only same member from that is our drummer Sean Harris, um, who's been with me since the beginning. But yeah, that one, I always want to revisit because I feel like it's decent lyrically, but I could have done better writing it musically. It was
Okay.
I think it was filler for the sake of filler. If like I'll
Yeah.
admit that. Like I'll admit that now. And that's without me hearing it in a while. So just off the top of my head, I might listen to it tonight and be like, that's actually not a bad song. But and I'd say that one was definitely one of those I had to fill it out, and that's what I had at the time.
That's fair. I mean, I think it's a good song, but I definitely see what you mean. Out of that record, it's not my favorite, or that EP, it's not my favorite.
No, no. Like I think um yeah, we were learning a lot when we were recording that record and writing the record. It was very much like I thought I knew I was doing and I didn't. And sonically, I'd like to revisit that record, not even remixing it. I was every now and again I'll talk to Sean about flirting with like re-recording it. But for what purpose, I don't know. Because for a long time,
More
up until
recognition
relatively
of it,
recently,
maybe.
say what now?
I said maybe more appreciation for the original songs, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, because I like some of the songs on there. They're very heartfelt and very meaningful, and they come from a very specific time and place in my life. Like "Swings at Your Hips" and "Favorite Company" were always live staples until this new record came out. Those were always like the set closers because they were the most anthemic songs that we had, and they had a vibe to them, especially as we kept evolving the band and evolving how big we sounded, and they still sounded great. But then when the new record was getting done, that was the first, when Still Here was getting recorded and mixed and going through that process, I knew early on that I was like, you know what? There's so many good songs on this batch to play live that I'm gonna have to cut out the ones that are already a favorite. Because we don't play hour long shows yet, and we play 50 minutes, 45,
Hey,
50.
that gets pretty close to an hour. You talk for 10 minutes, you could work it out.
That's true. But we can get kind of chatty. Sam and I on stage can get kind of chatty with our banter, but it's fun. It it amuses the audience, I think, a little bit. But I just love listening to Sam talk sometimes. But I keep telling myself once we have the opportunity to play longer sets, we can and we can expand to like an hour and change. There's very specific songs I'd want to re-add to the set list that would flow well with everything. Because you want to take people on kind of at least an adventure or at least a story, a thematic story live. At least I try to or think to. I don't know if people see us that way or not. I don't know how people see us, but Love Kills was definitely one that I was very excited about. It came about last minute in the recording and writing process, but there were just so many good songs that I was anxious to play live on that record. And I think, so currently I think we only play one song from the previous album, and the rest is the new album and a couple covers. So just because they're fun covers to play, that for now it's hard for me to not play those specific covers. I think we've made them our own. Um, but yeah, those would probably be my two. I'd say my favorite off the top of my head being Love Kills, and then least would probably for now would be Blue, Red, and Beige.
Okay. Hey, those are good answers for me, man. Now, I do want to talk about this doesn't really get talked about very often. I feel like you're the perfect person to talk about
Sure.
this with. I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but when you're creating the set list, how do you go about what order you want to put them in, how you want to do it, where do you want to put the talking points? Walk me through that.
Um, Let me start with saying, as of right now, as of this moment, our set list hasn't changed much in the last two tours, only because we haven't gotten as much rehearsal time in to kind of change up the order even, or just what was I trying to say? It's we found an order that we like, that we've flowed through, because we did a tour in March that was roughly the set list we play now, and I'm like, okay, these songs fit really well from a build standpoint. And then but I come from the school where if I had it my way, I would change the set list order every night,
Yeah, I would do.
like I just to keep things fun and interesting and see what works. But we haven't had there's so much like process and thought that goes into the rest of our show that for now it's roughly the same, and maybe we'll swap out certain ones in certain spots. But ideally I would change it every night. And my general thing is I love going to shows where bands rattle out the first three songs. It's just bam, bam, bam. And then we put a little spot to like talk right there, give it the hi, how you doings. And before we had Sam in the band, I would try to engage with the audience, but it would always just come across as just sad bastard bullshit. So I then defaulted to just not talking as much beyond the hi, we're Ghosts in the Willow. Welcome, thanks for being here. And then like, the usual stuff, which is all very true. And then try to move on to the next song. But now that we have a different dynamic in the band with Sam for the better, it takes the pressure off of me to be as engaging if I don't have to. Because let me zoom out a little bit. I was just telling a friend of mine this afternoon that my mental state when I go into playing a show is a little bit darker than perhaps everybody else's, because my songs tend to come from a
Deeper,
darker part of my
yeah,
personality or a darker part of my subconscious. So like I sing the songs that we perform live. It's always some version of a catharsis for me. And so my headspace is already there in this focused spot. And then having someone like Sam, who is very much more lighthearted and fun, I like having her there to like make it fun for the audience as opposed to just me moping around, because the songs do have such dark themes and topics. Sam is a great anchor pin to keeping it still being a show and still being fun for people to watch and view and and enjoy.
yeah,
But so in coming up with the set lists, I we try to put the rock and roll songs in the beginning, kind of do like a little bit of the mid tempo stuff in the middle, and then you want to end back on an explosive note. And for a lot of our shows, when we can afford it and when we have the time, we bring out a horn section to play the songs that have horns from the record. So the last three songs, if we have the horn section, wind up being Westerberg, Still Here, and we do a cover of the Replacements' Can't Hardly Wait.
ooh,
And so we get that, you get that full horn experience, and it's always we end on the high note because you want to bring it out to like a place of joy.
yeah,
And so I feel like we could probably interchange some of those as we get Sam caught up on some of our back catalog, because Sam only came in on this album, so she knows a handful of songs from our old material, but we need to retrofit her into some of the older songs if we ever want to bring them back out again or put
yeah,
them on a set list. So that takes a little bit more thought and time and rehearsal, because we want her parts to sound like they've always been there, even though they're not. But, you know, she's a full-fledged member of this band, so she should have a full-fledged role in her part,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
know. So so there's a lot of thought that goes into it. And as of right now, we have a good set list. But I think when we go on tour next, we've talked about maybe swapping some things out and having some interchangeable songs that, hey, in lieu of this one on some nights, let's replace it with this one that we haven't played in a while, or put this one in here. But it's hard to do because we're usually only allotted about 40 to 45 minutes. And sometimes, we wind up filling it all with what we have, and sometimes we don't, because we don't play to click tracks, we don't play to backing tracks, so everything is very authentic and of the moment. Some songs might get played slower, some songs might get played faster based on the mood. You know what I mean? So, and I'm very proud that we don't play to click tracks and we don't play to cued things and a lot of in-ear monitors and all that kind of junk, because at the end of the day, this is still rock and roll, so it has to feel very spontaneous you
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
so
I think you definitely have a point there with retrofitting Sam into the older songs because I always think it's odd when you got a band that adds like I don't know, they add a keyboard player or a third guitarist to a later a record and stuff, and then they go out to play that stuff, and then for the older songs they go, okay, you can go
yeah.
fly
Right.
somewhere for a little bit.
Right.
Or they go, well, if we have a third guitar player, you can just play the rhythm section again. I saw a band, um, Riley will know what I'm talking about.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, so Riley, if you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There was this band I saw. They had like 4 or 5 guitar players in their band, which
Jesus.
I thought was wild. One bass player, one drummer, one singer, and like 5 guitar players. I was like, this is insanity. Um,
Yeah.
but I think 3 or 4 of the guitar players all played the rhythm.
Yeah, and we've definitely done tours with three guitar players because Riley technically is our touring guitar player, and we've pivoted him to cover parts from our old guitar player. Our guitar player that played on the record left the band, and so we didn't really have a lot of time on this last tour to like really find another guitar player to replace him. Because and Riley initially came about to be the third guitar player to just double my parts because I had just come out of having a kidney transplant, so my stamina wasn't really there yet. So I wanted to have parts of the songs to where if I didn't feel like playing, and if I didn't, because if I didn't want to put all my energy into playing, I could just not play, and there still be that part there, like that rhythm
Yeah,
guitar there. So it would wind up being on some parts I'd play the intro, I would not play while I was singing, and then come in on a chorus or something,
yeah,
and then come in on the guitar solos because I play all the guitar solos in the band, another guitar player plays all the what I call the noodly bits, the little melodies and the finger
yeah.
picking and that kind of
In
stuff.
the in between the verses, interweaving
Yeah,
and
those kind
stuff.
of
Yeah, I
things.
gotcha.
So we had a guy that that was our guitar player Zach that played those parts, and then Riley was doubling me. But when Zach left the band, it was no real rush to kind of replace and teach someone those parts. And Riley, being the consummate professional that he is, I just said, "Hey, can you just learn Zach's parts?"
He is the
And
professional.
and so he learned the parts where he needed to be. Instead of playing note for note what Zach would play, he plays where you can audibly hear those things,
Yeah,
and then still doubles me. But eventually, I would like to go back to being a or a three guitar live band,
yeah,
um, and then a a permanent member doing all the noodly bits so that we can write and record with all those things on it. But right now, Riley's doing the double duty of doubling me and playing all those little noodly parts
he
too.
is the double
So
noodle.
double noodle. So sometimes there is a method to the madness. And when I play bar chords, Riley plays open chords. And when you have a band, like to your example, that has 3 or 4 guitar players, there's probably a reason, but does it make sense? Probably not always, but it might make sense to them. And it just kind of depends on if their reasoning is logical, and
Yeah,
even when Oasis just toured with 3 guitars, part of me was like, do you really need that? But then I'm like, well, you're playing stadiums, so you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want.
yeah. Hey,
You know what I mean?
when you've got that kind of money, when your
Yeah,
tickets are
yeah,
reselling for over $100,000 a ticket,
right.
you can really do whatever you want.
True. I mean, I'm just glad, their original rhythm guitar player was there, because so it's not
Yeah,
just the Liam and Noel show. So I'm glad there was at least a member from that classic lineup that,
yeah,
deserves to be there. But yeah, having 4 guitars is definitely a stretch. That's
yeah.
for
They
sure.
4 and 3 of them play rhythm.
Yeah. It's like at least vary it to like at least have somebody play a solo, or like not everybody plays the solo. You know what I mean? Or like
The one guy who played the solo stuff and the lead stuff, he was the only one that played it the
Jesus.
entire time. I
Then
was
that's
like, this is
yeah.
wild.
You'll have to tell me who it is after we get off here.
I
So I'd be
will.
interested to
It,
know. So
because yeah, I won't say anymore.
no. Yeah.
I don't like to be mean. So
No. It's fine. You got to talk shit but behind closed doors and leave it to yourself.
exactly.
There
I,
and
I
and
do
and
that with venues. No, I'm just kidding.
there are some bands that I remember when I was younger, I used to be very critical of bands that would bring on the quote unquote touring member. But
Yeah.
as I've gotten older and have done this more frequently and with logistics and stages and sounds, I understand why there's touring members now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I have a different appreciation for it. And yeah, Riley being the touring member has really stepped up to cover a lot of things. But it's I definitely understand that need, especially like if you have bands that are a trio and they're playing bigger places, so they need a bigger sound. So you bring on an extra this and extra that. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day about why the Foo Fighters needed a keyboard player, you know?
Oh,
Like,
I mean, you're definitely right in some regards. There are keyboard parts in some of these songs that you're like, if you listen close enough, you can hear them, but they're not. And this is the problem with that I have with some bands. You have these really cool, interesting parts on like a keyboard, or
mhm.
you have it on something else, but it's so buried that nobody can hear it. And then when you go to the live stuff, you're like, why isn't this on the record? Oh, it is, but we're just not playing it loud enough.
Right. And I stopped listening to the Foo Fighters consistently a long time ago,
Oh,
but
I haven't listened to their last two records. They did that Concrete Gold record, and then I stopped listening past that.
that's I fell off probably long before that. But I every time they put out a record, I always listen to it because I want to give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, that's okay. But I love Pat. I love them all individually. I love Pat Smear. I love Dave.
Yeah.
Nate, Chris. Like those are they're tremendous players and people. And I don't know. I have my opinions, but that's
Hey,
kind of yeah. The keyboard
it's
thing,
just not for us
I'm just like
anymore,
I
you
don't
know?
need it. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's at some point you age out of it, and it's not for you anymore. You're not the audience that they're catering to, and you're not the demographic, and that's okay.
Oh yeah. I
That's
mean,
that's totally okay.
when I think of a good example of an extra instrument added to a band to make things sound fuller or to give something different that isn't there before, I always think Iron Maiden. Because
Okay.
Iron Maiden has three guitar players because
Hmm.
they had two at different points. And then Adrian and Bruce
Hmm.
left,
Hmm.
and then they both came back and they had two guitar players still, so they just added the third. And I feel
Yeah.
like I saw them once. I'd like to see them again. But when I saw them live, it made sense in a way. Like they're not just playing two rhythms or two of one particular one and then one of the other one. Adrian, if he didn't play on that record, he'll add something on top of it that makes it more full, makes it sound more interesting. There's color to it, like the
Yeah.
little noodly bits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like, and it's there's a certain level of integrity of like, yeah, someone leaves the band, they replace them with somebody, but then that person comes back. Well, you're not going to kick out the guy that replaced them, so you just add them
Unless
to
you're
it.
Blink
Right. Well, is that? But
or
they've
Red
always
Hot
wanted to be a
Chili
trio anyway.
Peppers.
But yeah, but it's yeah. I'm referring to bands like Bad Religion or
Yeah,
Springsteen.
Three
His
Days
guitar player
Grace
left.
recently.
Yeah, there you go. It's like it's okay to keep that other person there. You know what I mean, and make it bigger. You know what I mean.
Oh yeah, and I think not to give 3 Days Grace too much credit now,
Uh-huh.
but I think adding Adam Gontier, the original vocalist, back, and then still keeping their current vocalist, Matt, and then doing that whole record with the both of them
That's
alternating
interesting.
and doing stuff.
That's
It
interesting.
it's such a pretty. For some reason, their vocals just mesh so well together. If you haven't checked out their new
No,
record,
I haven't.
it is
Okay.
it is genuinely one of my favorite records by them.
Okay.
If not my favorite record by them, which is such a strong thing to say considering
Wow.
people are like, well, 1X has I Hate Everything About, or whatever the one record is that has all the hits from it that they
Mhm.
always play. But I think they work so well together. I think Killswitch Engage would do a good job doing something like that too.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
There's a
And I
couple
think
bands that
fans would probably appreciate that as well.
they would definitely appreciate it with the money that they'd spend on
That's yeah.
it.
You got to give people bang for the buck. That's for sure. It's not always easy to do, but you got to give them bang for the buck where you can.
Some artists definitely see it that way. Some
Yeah.
other
Yep.
ones go, yeah,
You get what you
but
get.
they'll
Yeah.
they'll pay more.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the thing with American audiences they haven't maybe not figured out yet because is that you know is that StubHub is not an authorized seller of tickets. You know
No.
what I mean? So people I think people are quick to criticize a third party market without knowing it's a third party market and that's who they should be upset about. And if a show is sold out, it's sold out. Like if you can't get it from Ticketmaster, and that's the thing, I didn't like that Ticketmaster even integrated that into it.
Yeah.
Like that was something that blew my mind when I saw that they were going to do that. But businesses pivot and shift, and everybody's got their reasons. But
Yeah.
you got to stay relevant in some way, shape, or another. But at the end of the day, it's like they've painted themselves into a corner of just constantly fucking over the consumer. And part of me is like, yeah, 20 years ago we paid the $30 a ticket for this, that, and the other. But it's like true, but the cost of living has and the cost of anything over 20 years has changed so much also.
Yeah.
The equivalent I feel like should be like $100. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
At
like
most.
at most. I feel like I was just telling another friend of mine, $100 is the new 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
absolutely. That is
Like
what.
20 bucks used to mean something, and now it like 20 is the new five.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
And
remember when I was a kid, I went with, not to interrupt you, but
it's okay, man.
I went with my mother to work. She worked at a high school during like the last little bit after all the kids have left, the like wrapping up for the teachers.
Hmm.
And we walked in, I found a $20 bill on the ground outside the school, and I was elated. I was so happy. Like that $20 got me like four Pokemon packs.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
oh
I
yeah,
was
dude.
elated. I could buy a game with that. Now I
Yeah,
can't. Now I can't do nothing with that.
you can't do anything with 20 bucks anymore. No, no, sir.
It's a shame, but that's the way the
Like
cookie crumbles.
it is. I don't even think you could walk into a record store, assuming there's one nearby, and get a record for 20 bucks. You know?
There is one in Greensboro, North Carolina. They
Hmm.
do have $10 and under records.
Okay,
You
like
do have to
new
pay
or
cash.
used?
They're
Like
they're used. You
okay,
can't
so
buy.
I
You
was referring
definitely
to
can't
like
buy.
I was referring to like a new album, like a new,
Oh no, you
you know.
definitely can't do that anymore.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean,
But
the
there was a
price of
time,
it
Austin. There was a time.
was. I mean, how much do, did you guys make any records for the?
Yeah,
How much did that cost you? If you don't mind me asking.
if I remember off the top of my head, because we did the first record we put on vinyl was "I Was Once a Charming Man,"
Okay.
and that album came out streaming in like 2020, 2021, something like
Yeah.
that. And then because we recorded it at the end of 2019, but then the pandemic and we delayed it and we didn't even put it on streaming until 2020, 2021. And
Yeah.
then I finally put it on vinyl a year or two ago, and I ordered 150 of
Okay.
them, full color,
Yeah.
in the insert and the colored vinyl. We did like a two color vinyl. I think it
Ooh,
was
pretty.
like white and blue. And those for 150, I think was like just shy of $3,000.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about
So
3 grand to do about, yeah, it was about 150 copies. And it was like somewhere between 2,700 and $3,200 for
okay.
that all
So
in.
let's say 3,000. Let's do some
Yeah.
math here. Divided by 150. It cost about $20. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to break even, $20
Right.
is one thing, but you got to make a little something.
Right.
So ultimately, yeah, you can't sell vinyl at $20 anymore. It's
No,
just
no, you
not a
can't.
financially viable thing to do, and you got to take extra
Sometimes
cost shipping
sometimes
too.
we do on the road just because like we don't want to carry them, or we want people to at least have the record. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We want people to at least be able to like listen to it and take it home and read the liner notes and do all that kind of stuff and have the experience of it. The new album, Still Here, we went a little less. We undershot and went for about 100,
okay,
and I think that cost us. And yeah, and we did a single color. Yeah, we did it on Coke bottle clear,
okay,
and that was still, I think that was still around 2,500
okay.
for that. Yeah,
So
so that was
yeah,
still,
even at that, it still averages out to about the same. Because if we did
yeah,
2,500 divided by, you said 100.
yeah.
Yeah, that in fact that technically cost you more.
Yeah, it was a lot of color. It was a lot of stuff too. We did pick some extras. I think there's like, they upcharge for like matte finish versus gloss, and
Yeah.
oh, and we put it on 180 gram
Oh,
too.
okay, okay. That
Yeah, we put it on a 180 gram vinyl for that one. So
I mean, for 180-gram vinyl, that's pretty good. But again, you still can't sell it at.
you still have to sell it for at least $30 to like make a little bit of profit on it.
Yeah.
But again, my concern at the end of the day, when people buy our record, is I'm grateful that they want to have the record. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Like that alone, you know, is worth the cost of doing it, because
Absolutely.
everybody knows there's no money to be made in this industry. So if you're in this to make money, find another avenue. You know what I mean? There's definitely money in on the back end, like
Go
doing
work
tech
for
work.
Sabrina Carpenter. That's
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, go where the money is, I say. But if you're doing your own music and your own thing, you just have to know you're not going to make any money at it.
yeah.
And it's unfortunately, it's the way it is. There, you can find a way to break even, you can find a way to make a little bit, but you're not going to pay your rent on it. You're not going to, pay your mortgage or your car or your family on it, at least at the level that we're at, or a lot of bands are at.
Yeah.
Which is why, a lot of us still have day jobs, so we
Yeah,
take a lot of time off from work to do what we do and make it, at least to have the good time and have the hang, because at the end of the day, you're creating memories for yourself and hopefully, if you're lucky, for other people. But I'm kind of in this to satisfy myself and have a good time with my friends while I'm doing it. So
absolutely. Hey, and at the end of the day, if your music makes an impact on one person, that means so much more than 1,000 streams on a song.
absolutely, and I know a lot of people will say that and put it on a face, but I mean it when I say that. I mean, it it's hard to dig up the emotions to write the songs. It's hard to relive those things when you're playing them live, at least for me, that you know it's some I just hope somebody has to get something out of it,
Yeah, absolutely.
beyond myself. So otherwise, because I'm no good at writing, the Moon in June type songs,
Yeah.
so I
I
got to
could
pull
try
it from
my
somewhere.
best. Hey, you know what? I always said if you want to make a ton of money in music, go Christian contemporary. You
Yeah,
just have to write a three, maybe four chord song. You write some random lyrics, that vaguely mean something, and then you sell it to an artist for like several $1,000s, and you just rinse and repeat.
yeah. Another, I was talking to another buddy, and he was talking about publishing. Like getting into, he was like, "Gil, don't focus on the road." He's like, "Get into publishing, dude. Sell the songs." And I'm like, "It's not a bad idea, but I don't exactly have anybody knocking at my door for him. So I got to talk to my manager about that and be like, so tell me about this publishing thing." So
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I mean, the money is there in terms of like writing for other people. I think
yeah.
I don't know if we're talking like rock and current metal at the moment.
Hmm.
You got the dude from Wage War. I don't remember his name. But he's writing for a ton of people. You got Aaron Gillespie writing country songs for people, you
Yeah.
know. You got
Yeah,
Jordan Fish from Bring Me the Horizon writing with everybody under the sun. There's money there.
yeah, yeah. There's mailbox money does exist. That's for sure. I just I
Right,
just
jingle.
yeah, I function better on the road. I function better, for my health and my mental sanity. Like I like being on the road.
Oh,
It can be
absolutely.
hard, but I like being on the road. I like being, productive to whatever degree and doing those types of things and seeing different places. And,
There's just
I
something
just,
about it.
yeah, there's a flavor there, that I don't like being cooped up too much. So yeah, I definitely just like being out there on the road and being on a stage and even if it's empty or whatever, it's just it's a that's the fun part for me is being out there.
There's somebody there. There's the sound guy at the very least.
Hey man, I got to make him feel something. I got to
Exactly.
reach out to him.
Hey,
Make him feel the knobs.
that's right. I mean, there was that saying that says whether you're playing to 1,000 people or one person, you still got to give that same energy either way. And people can
100%.
tell when you're phoning it in.
Yeah, and it was funny when I used to look at old clips of myself and I would play the gig and feel and be like, man, I really feel like I gave it my all. And then I'll watch a clip that someone posts and I'm like, I'm not moving at all, And so like you have to over exaggerate all your movements and
Yes.
it takes a lot of energy out. And I'm learning how to harness that in my own way. And again, having Sam in the band is really great for me. I now have someone to like play off of live,
Yeah, absolutely.
so we get that little bit of interaction on stage there.
And you can tell in the clips and stuff that you guys post that there's an energy to this current lineup that
Oh,
is
100%.
like
Like yeah, it's when we had two other guitar players, when there was three total, like it definitely freed me up to be engaging with the audience and get to do the Springsteen type show of emoting and having the visuals and things like that and playing off of Sam. Like I consider Sam, like, again, to use a Springsteen reference, it's like she's my Clarence Clemens, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And so I didn't know that I needed to have that, and so she really fills that role for me. And if I can give her a nudge or give her a wink when one of us fucks up, or like, like a little grin while we're soloing in front of each other. Like that's a lot of fun for me. It's like our little secret. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
So yeah, it's great.
When I mess up a solo, I'm like, I stopped going for the like wincing or being like, fuck, I messed up. I just laugh it off because I think it's funny.
Well, that's what I do. Like I do one of those things where like I just start laughing, and then people that know me in the audience they won't know I fucked up, but they know I fucked up because they see me laughing under my breath.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like and that's when they know. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to work on that. It's still funny.
Hey, I mean, it's better than being, upset about it because
Right.
people can feel that energy.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
if you're sour about something you did in a song, people will know it and they'll feel it too. And if you
I
just
just
laugh it off and keep going, people are gonna even if they notice the mess up, they are going to be 10 times more receptive.
yeah, I mean, I try to take the approach of, I always hit a wrong note once in a while, but it's like I just bend it until it's right, you know.
Exactly. I mean, I had a recital today for one of the lessons places that I
Hmm.
teach at,
Hmm.
and I had to play I had to learn all the bass parts and the vocals for the jam band that I teach
Oh wow.
because we lost the vocalist, gained a drummer, so I didn't have to drum and sing anymore, but I had to fill in on bass.
Yeah.
So, uh, I know I messed up a couple times, but I'm like, we're having fun up here. People are enjoying it. What? Why be like, man, I messed up when I can
Especially when you're
just
a jam band, like it's all a mess up, isn't it?
yeah, it's all relative. I mean, We played Zombie by the Cranberries, which is a easy song. I didn't mess up on that one. Oh, I definitely did on the lyrics. I'm
There's a lot of words.
confession. I'm really terrible with lyrics.
Me
Uh,
too, especially my own.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I can remember one song. It's Through the Fire and the Flames by Dragon Force. Just that song. I know all the solos. I know all the little keyboard parts. If you asked me the words to one of my songs for my band, The Scarlet Cord, no, I couldn't
Mhm.
tell you. I When push comes to shove, I will sing it and sing it correctly. But
Right.
if you just ask me, hey, what's that lyric right here on this part of the song? I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I we have a hard time with yeah, there was one time we were rehearsing with the horns and it was like we wanted to just circle back to like this one part, but I'm like, I don't know who starts that. And I don't know like wait, I don't know what lyric is right there. Because it's all like it's kind of a stream of consciousness half the time. So if
Yeah,
I can't just jump back into the middle of it yet. So I'm working on that too. So yeah, I gotta get better because I wind up writing lyrics and sometimes, especially on a song like Love Kills, it has more words, like physical words in it than I usually put in a song. So it's made it a little bit harder for me to memorize, you know.
yeah,
But so like even at the gig last night, I still had to tape a lyric reference sheet to at least like the start of each line. Because
yeah,
once I had the first word, I was like, okay, cool. So I would tape to my monitor like just a little visual cue,
yeah.
so I wouldn't mess it up. Because I messed it up
That's a
during
really
sound
smart
check. I was like, oh,
idea.
let's go through it. I was like, let's go through it at sound check and to see if I remember it. And I fucked up the second verse, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna have to write that down. So come stage time, I just pasted the lyrics right on the monitor, and so I was like, there we go.
That works.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do something to get through a gig.
Yeah, because
And
like
if they
it
don't
helps me
know, it
memorize it
hurts
too.
them.
Yeah, I mean, uh,
I in certain cases, let me
yeah,
rephrase that. If you're lip syncing like Vince Neil does with Motley Crue, then we have a problem. But
for sure.
if you have a monitor that has the lyrics in case you need to reference it, or you got a sheet of
Yeah,
paper that sits over there in the corner that you got to look at maybe once or twice, that's okay.
yeah, it is, especially with bigger bands like that that do have a vast catalog. Like you're gonna forget stuff from time to time. You know, it's like you're not reading off of it directly. It's just like a cue in case you forget.
Yeah,
And
just don't do
you know,
the
yeah, right,
and
yeah, yeah.
what do
Nope,
you?
yep. Nope, that's just embarrassing, man. I mean, Sam always tells me he's like, well, just get an iPad, and I'm like, that's such a faux pas for a frontman to use an iPad. You know what I mean? Like, because like she uses an iPad for her music,
Yeah,
uh, and so like, and she plays in other bands, so I get that it's a lot to remember. So that's totally fine for her, totally fine for the horn section. But when it comes to me, I just want to hold myself to that standard of like not having something so obvious there. So I'm like, but a piece
yeah.
of paper is a little less obvious, you know?
Hey, people are, I will say this, it's easier for a musician, for certain types of musicians to get away with having something in front of their face
Mhm.
than it
Yeah,
is other people. Like,
yeah,
if you're playing a more, I hate to say this, traditional instrument,
yeah,
like if you're not playing one of the standard four, guitar, bass, drums, vocals, people
right,
you can usually get away with it.
right,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I see people all the time on keyboard for full bands have sheet music
yeah,
in front of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
That they can get away with that
They can do
in
that.
a way
Yeah,
that a vocalist cannot get away with having the lyrics in front of them, which is such a strange thing to me.
it is a strange thing. Yeah.
But I do kind of see the keyboard player doesn't move around as much because the keyboard is a more stationary instrument. If
Mhm.
you're a vocalist, you're the center of attention, so if you're looking at something, I can see where that might be a problem. But,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
apples and oranges to each their own.
for sure.
Oh, whatever you want to call
Mhm.
it.
Absolutely. Different strokes for different folks, you know.
That's it. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking. I don't know why I said apples to oranges.
same difference.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Okay, I've got a fun question for you here.
sure.
We're gonna do some, I call these semi-rapid fire questions because let's be honest,
Okay,
we're music people. Nothing is rapid fire ever.
that is true.
So, here's the first one. What is something you're still learning about yourself as an artist?
I'm learning
Besides your
where
voice.
my limit. I'm learning where my limitations are.
Okay.
Because I've never been able to really explore once you have them, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm kind of
Yeah.
learning like what can I do and what can I not do? Like finding my voice or finding my um tone or like my or how I play because you can always get better, but I think for me there are certain things that I I'm at where I'm at and that's as good as it's going to get and frankly like I want to learn how to make that part enjoyable and make that part um interesting for myself, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, finding out where my limitations exist. That
I got
would
you.
that would whether it's singing or playing or stamina, whichever.
Yeah.
So
I think more artists need to find where their limitations are at. It's okay to break through those limitations and or you know, widen the range of what you can do. But
mhm.
you also have to know where to start, and some people just don't look for it and
Right, absolutely,
bother
absolutely.
to
It's
know where to start.
yeah,
So,
it's very very true. Because so I have to look towards you know other musicians of like either of my age or slightly older that and what they were when they were my age now, kind of a thing.
yeah.
So it's definitely a you know I definitely look to my elders in that in that respect.
Yeah, of
So
course. Now, this is a fun question I love to ask. What's a
mhm.
music trend, like a current music trend that you just don't understand or you just can't get behind?
That's a good point. I don't think I pay attention to current music trend with
I'll
much
tell you
degree.
what mine is if it'll help you a
Yeah,
little.
yeah, yeah.
8-track cassette. Quit trying to put things on
Ooh,
8-track cassette. It's not going to happen. It costs way
we
too much. I'm
we
not
have eight
going
track
out to.
cassettes.
You're the problem.
Okay. Oh, come on. We only make
Hey,
20 of
if
them. It's fine. You
oh,
know,
you know what? Okay, maybe I'll tell you what, you send me an
they're limited
8-track
edition.
cassette player and I will completely change my tune about it. I found one and it was $90. I had to have an odd like MIDI AV cord. It was weird.
Nice.
And it
Nice.
and there was no way for me to test it. It was a
No,
hundred dollars and I wasn't gonna be able to test it.
no.
Awful. Only
Let
one
me
I
tell you
found.
this. More often than not, they don't work. You have to get them serviced because it is an antiquated format. We've had people buy them, and most people buy them with the intent of like making a shadow box or framing it into some sort of art type of a thing.
Okay.
Um, I bought a player and had it refurbished from a friend of mine. Yeah, Athena Athens out of Portland has a label, Little Lost Girl Media. So she put out our cassettes and our 8 tracks, but we did a limited number of 8 tracks. And I was, you know what? I've never even heard what an 8 track sounds like. So she hooked me up with her friend who refurbishes players and bought one through him. And it was pretty cool. Like it was definitely pretty cool. But I can see your pain. I definitely understand how it can be annoying. I'm probably more annoyed by how people consume it. Not just if people consume it on a physical media, awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even some did digital formats. If you know Apple, Spotify, Bandcamp, wherever, those are all fine. However you want to consume your digital disposables is fine with me. What I love to hate and I hate to love is having to crack a TikTok algorithm
Yes.
for the band. Like we're on there, we do stuff on there, but it's like it's easy for an individual to be a TikTok presence. It's hard for a band to be on TikTok because Yeah, yeah. You have to make funny
Yeah.
skits at fucking practice, and and that kind of thing. But it's where people are, and got to find a way to adapt to it. But that part is, I'm a little like, I love scrolling through TikTok. I love doing that kind of thing, but and
Yeah.
like engaging with others. But it doesn't work the same for every band. Like I see some bands that are just killing it on there, and then some that aren't. But at the end of the day, whatever gets asses in the door, I say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, whatever gets them in the door at the show.
I mean, hey, TikTok, you gotta love it and you gotta hate it.
And click tracks. That's the other thing. I fucking hate
Yes.
click tracks.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I
as
like
a
click tracks to an extent.
as a musician, I like my rock and roll to be a little bit dangerous and a little bit unpredictable and a little bit chaotic and with a little bit of improv. And if you have things timed out so fucking much, however raucous you're trying to come across, you come across stale.
I respect that.
That's just my opinion. That's the hill I'm gonna die on. But I'll probably die alone up there. But
No,
I
you got at
yeah.
least Riley up there.
I have a click track and it's Sean Harris on the fucking drum kit. You know what I mean? Like,
There you go.
that's my fucking click track. So
I will say here's where my point of contention is, and it's not that I like click tracks or that I dislike click tracks. I'd rather not play to a click track,
right.
but at least for the music that my buddy Ben and I have been writing, I have not been able to find anybody to match the other guitar part
Hmm.
that I write for it. Like they can't hack it.
Hmm.
So I
And
have
that's
to
where your
out
personality is as a
yeah,
player. Like that's your personality there. So
I
yeah,
have
you're
to
not gonna.
outboard that to myself essentially.
Right.
And so I have to use a click track. It, I don't really like backing track. Like we could play the whole set without having my computer at all, which is what is nice about it.
Hmm.
I always think if you're a band and you have backing tracks and click tracks, cool. That's perfectly fine. That's your thing. Do what you want. But if you can't play without it,
Yeah.
if you can't at least do um like if me and Ben were to play a show with a drummer that we still don't have yet, we could play the whole show. Would you have all the little extra bits that I do for the second guitar, sometimes a third guitar? No, but we would still be able to play the songs and it would sound complete.
Right.
If you have a show and you cannot do that,
Hmm.
then it starts to become a problem. Now, if you're
Yeah.
huge at this point, you're playing like Hellfest and stuff, do what you want because you're making the money that I'm not making. So
Right.
that's one thing. But if you are below the like headliners at Upheaval Fest or these bigger bands that Incarceration or any of these huge festivals, Lollapalooza, if you can't do that, your same set without a click track and without your backing tracks, you may need to go back to the drawing board.
Maybe. I mean, I think every band has that uses one. They have a reason, but at the but and I think we've we've taken all of um the difficulty out of music and made it easy enough to where nothing sounds real. Even though it literally is people playing guitars, people playing drums, and those types of things. We took all of the mistakes out of rock and roll and turned it into what it was never supposed to be, which was stale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, you know, but the other end of the coin that I also concede to play devil's advocate, the other side of the coin, and probably the only real saving grace or the only real um, allowance or whatever the lack of a word is for that, the only real um, caveat that I could see to that would be the audience perspective of maybe the audiences are just so used to that perfection
Yeah.
that anything less would come across as to them being sloppy because they don't have a reference for what rock and roll used to be or what a live concert experience used to be without click
Yeah.
tracks and without those types of backing tracks. You know what I mean? They've existed in
Absolutely.
some sense because the Who used to use backing tracks in the 70s, but it was, it was a reel to reel tape playing all the synthesizer parts, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's been there to a degree, but I think the audience is used to that perfection and that timing and that experience that, you know, I've seen TikToks of people complaining that so and so sounds shitty. They don't sound like the record. And I'm like, well, back in my day, you didn't want to sound like the record. You know what I
No,
mean? You
you wanted
wanted
to
your live
sound
show to
better
be, yeah, like
or
it would
more
always sound,
authentic.
it would sound more real and more authentic. I mean, I remember the first time I saw Creed once when I was a
Ooh.
kid, and I remember being disappointed that the guitar solos were note for note the same as the record
Yeah.
because I was like, if I wanted to hear the record, I'd go home and put on the record. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because I was at that time I was listening to a lot of what I know now to be like bands that had a jam aspect where like I was listening to a lot of Zeppelin. So like Jimmy Page's solos were different every night. I
Yeah.
was listening to I was listening to a lot of live shows, of Zeppelin or Soundgarden or Pearl Jam and that kind of thing. And like the set list orders were different. A guitar solo might go longer, or there's an element of improv. There might be a quick drum solo here and there. You know what I mean? It wasn't exactly like the record. The tempo was faster, maybe, and maybe it made a song sound better because it was faster. And but when your band is playing the same thing as it on the album as it does live, or vice versa, it to me that's not exciting. Like I can go home and put on the record.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, okay, people's tastes are changing to where they want to hear the record live because that's what they're expecting, and to them that's what they paid for. And you can argue it both ways. And it used to be more prevalent to people for people to not want to hear the record live, and now I'm just noticing that people do want to hear the record live when you're on a bigger platform like that, when you're playing
Yes.
stadiums and arenas. That's kind of my thing.
There are some bands that I feel like, not to say that they couldn't do it without it, but I feel like they need it to be fully complete. And
Yeah.
there
Okay.
there are a few of them. Uh, I'd argue that like bands with a heavy symphonic presence,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
like I don't know, just because I'm going to see them on Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell? Uh, because as I was
Getting
saying before, I was
electricity,
rudely
yeah.
interrupted by the weather.
Hmm.
Um, Lorna Shore, which is
Okay.
super heavy deathcore with the huge symphonic stuff in like half their songs. As much as it would be awesome to see them play it live without the symphonic backing stuff, I feel like I would be missing something.
Okay. Yeah.
However, for a let's say Under Oath,
Hmm.
Under Oath, which as far as I'm aware, they may use click tracks, but they don't use any backing tracks. Chris, their keyboard player, does all the cool sound layer stuff. So sick. Really nice dude, by the way.
Hmm.
Um, they could strip down to like basic stuff and still play it, and it would sound good, if as good as, or if not better than the record. And they don't need
Hmm.
all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
But different kind of bands.
Yeah.
I find the heavy symphonic stuff really does need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, and because I was talking to someone, I was talking to somebody on our team a while back about toying with the idea of having more strings for like a show for like a special occasion, because the way Sam records, she layers a lot of like almost like like 4-part harmonies of her
Yeah, yeah,
parts.
yeah.
And then live, she'll simplify to what the main melodies are so that those are still there, those main elements. And I've been toying with the thought of like, well, what if we did get like a 3 or 4 piece, string section for a gig and have Sam like write stuff out and do those types of things just as like a one-off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we have the horns and we have the strings and we have a stage that we can do it at,
Kind of like
so
the S&M, except not
yeah, kind of
without.
sort of maybe not quite on that scale, but similar. And
Neither of us could afford it, even if we
no,
had that kind of money.
for sure. And like I just think that'd be something kind of cool just to hear the record in a full like that, at least for like a one-off. But
Yeah,
for a band like that, like you're talking about, where they have those heavy orchestral elements, like then yeah, exceptions to every rule,
yeah,
you know.
1000%.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, this is a question I like to ask because it's not really for you and me. It's
Sure.
for it's for the person who is sitting here right now listening to this podcast,
And
not
thank you
having
if you made it
any
this far.
correct. Uh, the person who has never listened to Ghost in the Willow before. What song from your discography should a new listener listen to first? Because I
Wow,
have an idea
that's
of
a good
what they
question.
should
Okay,
listen to
let me
first,
think.
but I want to hear
Um,
your thoughts.
Off the new record or in general or
Let's do in general
okay,
because
general? Then let's do the windshield.
okay,
I'd say windshield. Yeah.
I like that's a good one. Uh,
Yeah. I think it has good representation of where we're at now in that, you know, it's got the violin solos, it's got layered guitar solos, it's got the traumatic lyrics, so to speak, and it's got an energy to it. It's not, it drives like a punk rock song, I think should. It has a driving aspect to it. It's got a middle section
yeah,
that is also a little fast paced. So it's got something for everybody, I think, on that one.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'd say that one. What were you gonna say?
So I would say, oh, I mean, honestly, what I would say is probably Love Kills, just because it's my
Okay,
song.
I
But if
like
I
that one
had
a
to
lot.
choose a different one, it would be Still Here, simply because
Oh yeah, that is a good
it's
one
the
too. I keep forgetting
title
about that
track.
one.
And so people are like, oh, well, Still Here. Oh, that's the name of the record. I need to
Yeah,
check
yeah,
out the
yeah.
rest of it. But
I some I sometimes forget about that one, even though like I love playing it. It's got the horns. It's a lot of fun. I think it's a little more upbeat than I
normal,
perhaps it's more upbeat than I'd like to think of us, but in reality, like it it came it
it's
it
kind of
came
a
out.
perfect encapsulation.
It is. Yeah,
But
I'd say so. Yeah, that's a good one.
after hearing what you said, I'm gonna have to agree with you because I feel like that one does give it does give, for lack of a better word, a more broad representation of what you are capable of doing, if you will.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, still here. Um, I think I mentally exclude it because it has the horns, and the horns to me are such a luxury and a treat that
Oh,
like
that when they go to a
I almost
concert, they'd
discount
be
it.
like, "Yeah, I get you."
Yeah, because you know what I mean. Like we play it live even without the horns, but it's definitely lacking, especially when we play in Portland with our good horn section up there, who they're just so tight and like crisp on it. Like it sounds amazing, and we have a good horn section here in Phoenix too. But the majority of our shows are without them, and so Sam plays that melody part on the like Sam's
Yeah.
playing that, and then the other guitar player is playing that too. But it's not as in your face as it is with the horns, unfortunately.
I mean,
So
hey, a good horn section can really like
yeah.
punch you in the face.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good. I think, I'd probably tie those two. together in that respect then.
Yeah, I mean, if they had two songs to listen to,
If
it'd
they
be
had
those two.
if they had the time, if they had 7 minutes to spare, that those are the two I'd choose for them.
I like it. Okay, this is a fun question. I like.
Sure.
What is a song that you wish you had written? Any song in the world. I've gotten some interesting ones. I got Happy Birthday one time. I was like, okay,
Oh wow. Okay.
you're not
Okay. I
getting
see where
any
we're going.
kickback on that, but to be known as the
Um,
person who wrote Happy Birthday is an achievement in and of itself.
I'd say the one that comes to the top of my head, I and this would probably change in 5 minutes after we hang up, but the one that comes to mind is probably London Calling by The Clash.
That's a good one. Th-
I
I
f-
wouldn't
I
have
feel
expected that from you, honestly.
well, I'm a huge Clash fan for one, but also like it's anthemic out of the gate. Like just out of like you hit play and it's just you know where it's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
before the bass even comes in, like just you turn that song loud and just that it just it hits so hard, especially when you play it loud. And then when the
Yeah,
bass comes in, it's like airplanes going off a launch pad or whatever. And um it the backward solo, yeah, I think that's a universally that's universally such an anthem that I think it transcends generations in a weird way.
absolutely.
You know, I was gonna call I was thinking of an Oasis song, I was thinking of a Gaslight Anthem song, and I was like, and I just for some reason I was like, no, London Calling came to mind right then and there.
Out of
Yeah.
all the Clash songs, that wouldn't have been the one that I would have pegged you to
It
pick.
wouldn't either. Like you wouldn't think, but because like I am I'm a huge Dyed in the Wool Clash fan. I celebrate their entire discography, even the ones with Cut the Crap and Clash Mark II or you know what I mean, Joe
Yeah,
Strummer solo records, BAD, all that stuff, Havana 3 a.m. Like I celebrate their entire catalog, the Mescaleros, and I my favorite song of theirs is probably Straight to Hell. Like that's probably my favorite Clash song, but London Calling I think is the one I wish I would have wrote or I could have written at some point. So I think in terms sometimes when I'm writing songs for the band, I think in terms of like, okay, we have this type of song and that type of song. What's the anthemic song on this record? You know what
yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
Like what's the London Calling of this record? And that
Okay.
and so like that's the one. Yeah, that would be the one. Yeah,
I respect that answer. Honestly, that is a really good answer. And
for
like I
sure.
said, not one I would have expected, especially out of all the Clash discography. I would have thought something else. But the way you describe it, honestly, now I can't think of any other one that would work.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Rock
I
the
mean,
Cosmo, maybe.
if we if we were to cover it, I think like I would give Sam that I wouldn't even play the guitar solo. I would have Sam do that. You know what
That
I
would be
mean?
awesome. I mean,
Like,
at this point, you've said this. I feel like we need it now.
yeah, shit. Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one. That might be a hard one to convince everyone because we've done and recorded so many covers. Like we've done Pearl Jam covers, we've done Clash covers. Have we? No, we haven't. We've done Pearl Jam covers, we've done Tom Petty
Exactly. You
covers.
haven't done a Clash
We
cover.
haven't done a Clash cover. We have a Gaslight Anthem cover in the works. We're putting out a cover of Can't Hardly Wait by the Replacements. And so I'm trying to get out of us covering songs, but I just feel like we could cover them in our own
Just one
style. Like,
more. Just
yeah,
one
yeah,
more.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Just I think you know what? If we do one more, then we could just call it a covers EP. You know what I mean? You
There
know?
you go. See,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got the ideas here.
Yeah, we've got like we've done two Pearl Jam songs that we've never played live, either one of them. But like, I think if we just did one more, and then maybe you know what, then I'll have to be diplomatic and maybe ask everybody else what they want to cover too, and then we'll just make it a record. So
You know what? I like this idea.
yeah, I know Sam wants to cover a Tsunami Bombs song, so I'll have to get with her
Okay.
to like narrow it down to one or two. So because I want to get Sam to be singing some more too for
Yeah.
us. And so we give her a little bit of American slang, and then I want to give her something that she can sink her teeth into as well. And she's been talking about doing a tsunami bomb cover, so I'll have to get with her on that one too.
I think we've come up with your next EP.
That's probably it. I think you're onto something there.
Okay.
I'll have to add it
Well,
to the group chat.
yeah, for sure. So this next question kind of it plays off of the last question.
Sure,
What is a dream collaboration you'd love to have for Ghost in the Willow? Besides coming on this podcast, because I know
for sure, for
it's
sure.
always a dream for everybody to come on my podcast.
I've been waiting months to do it. So
We've been talking about it for a while and we finally
yeah, I
managed
know.
to pin it down. So
Yeah. A dream collab.
I know I was
You
wanting to
know,
do this for a
here's the
while.
thing.
So
I've met I've been fortunate enough to have met a lot of my heroes. A majority of them
we're good.
have been fantastic. Only one, maybe two were disappointing, but I still listen to their music. I would say I want to lean to say Paul Westerberg,
Okay. Yeah.
only because I don't think anybody could get him to do anything. I don't even think he could get
No.
himself to. I don't think he could get himself to collaborate with himself. So,
Yeah, that I mean, you do have a
but
fair point.
yeah, I'd say Paul Westerberg or
Like does he
uh,
doesn't even do anything anymore,
I
does
don't. He really doesn't. He really doesn't. And at least not that the public's aware of.
he? Yeah.
Um, but from a more realistic point of view, I would really like to do something with Brian Fallon.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like it. Yeah.
yeah. I
Hey,
think
well,
it'd
it
be
can
interesting to sit in
happen.
a room with him. It could.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. We have enough mutual friends that
Yeah,
anything
absolutely.
anything could anything could happen. In fact, most of my rig used to belong to him. I've been lucky enough to know a few guitar shops in Jersey, and shout out to Short Point Vintage, and they've hooked me up with a lot of formerly owned by Brian Fallon pieces. So I have like two of his amps, a couple of his guitars, So I feel like he could play a Phoenix show using what used to be his own gear.
Yeah. Hey,
You know what I mean?
I
So
think he might find that pretty cool.
he might find that kind of endearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's coming to Phoenix in October. Maybe I'll have to send out an APB to our mutuals. You know,
Hey, yeah. You know what? I'll see what I can do.
right? Thank you very much. Right?
Of
Yes,
course.
yes. Anything can
Now,
happen.
yeah. Now this is a fun song, or not a fun song. I mean, it could be a song if we really try
Yeah,
hard. But it starts as a question first.
sure.
And that is, what is a trend, like just a general trend that you swore you'd never hop on, or you're like, that's dumb, and now you're on it. You're into it. You're in it now. Because
Um,
I've got a couple
I've
that
got.
I'm like, I was never going to do it, and then I did it.
uh, I feel like I go with the flow so much that I don't think I've resisted anything that much. Probably, you know what? I was a little resistant to TikTok for sure. That
Yeah,
got
I
me.
was too.
That definitely got me. And then
I watch more Instagram Reels now though than
see,
TikTok.
I feel like Instagram Reels are like 2 weeks after TikTok. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
they absolutely are.
It's like by the time, 'cause I know something's come and gone when I see it on Instagram Reels, but uh, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, absolutely.
or I see it again on Instagram Reels rather.
And then YouTube Shorts is like another 2 months or 6 months
YouTube
behind.
Shorts, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'd say that. And then musically, I really got into Billie Eilish lately.
Okay.
That like I really, because again, it's not of my demographic, it's not for me, but a good song is a good song, dude. And
You can
she's got
say
it.
that again.
She's got more than a few where I'm just like, no, it's fucking great. Like she's fucking brilliant. and like I'll take that any day of the week. I think I stopped caring about genres. I got into this one single from Cher Lloyd years ago called "Want You Back," and that one was such a pop banger that it made me like, you know what? Like, what else is out there that I'm missing? You know what I mean? That may not be for me, but is still just a great song. And I've just allowed myself to listen to things that I probably on paper wouldn't listen to. And it's her like Cher Lloyd, Kaylee Goldsworthy, Lola Young, Billie Eilish, those types, Phoebe Bridgers, like those types
Yeah.
of things. Like just good songs are good songs, regardless of
Absolutely.
genre, you know, and they
You
do some
know,
of the best of them.
yeah, absolutely. Now, since we already brought her up, what's your
Yeah.
favorite Billie Eilish song? I know what mine is by a mile.
I still can't get enough of Bad Guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I still can't get enough of that one. And then Birds of a Feather is fucking great.
Good one.
Um,
Lovely is my favorite
okay, that's a good track. I
because
haven't, I
Khaled's on
admittedly,
it,
I
and
don't think I've bookended her records. I've listened to like her earlier stuff and her like more recent stuff, but
yeah.
there's a middle that I haven't dove into yet that I think on my next plane ride, that's probably what I'll be exploring on my next plane ride is those middle records that she has that I'm not familiar with yet.
Do me a favor. When
Yeah.
you listen to Lovely, after you get done, go listen to the band Time the Valuators version of it.
Okay.
It's a heavy version, but holy crap. It is one of my favorite covers, like rock metal cover. It's one of my favorite covers of a song, like of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
it's
can
a
get down
shame that the
on.
band is still not doing anything. They said they'd be doing something this year, and guess what? They're not doing
Oh yeah.
anything.
Well, that's a shame.
And I told them
Plenty
to
of
come
bands
on my
like that though.
podcast, and they said, okay, and didn't say nothing after that. Screw them. No, I'm just kidding.
Screw them, dude. More room for me,
That's right. Hey, more room for other bands to get in there.
for sure.
As the lyrics from The Wobble say. So we're reaching the end here. I got just a few more questions for you,
Sure.
and then
Rattle
we'll
them out, boss.
do through the rigmarole of the ending, if you will.
Hmm.
So, and this one is one I want to know. It's one I asked, but it's one I feel like you would give me a good one for. What
Maybe.
is one lyric, like one line or one specific part of a song lyrically that you feel every time in your bones? This is like this is the one that really hits hard, like the hardest.
There's a
I'm sure
couple.
there's a couple. Yeah, I was gonna say there's probably a
There's
couple.
definitely there's a couple that come to mind, and I think the first one that comes to mind is off of the song "Have a Nice Day." Clapping hands don't pay the rent.
I like that.
Yeah, there's something about it just puts me. I don't know. My lyrics, especially on the new record, came from a lot of personal experience or personal like witnessing, like watching somebody else go through it, or like finding a character in a location and extrapolating a story onto what they look like they're going through.
Yeah.
Um, but the song "Have a Nice Day" is like that. A lot of that song is like that. Um, and fuck. I just played last night because I every song comes from somewhere in the moment, and it's probably that song as a whole, really.
It really is a powerful song to be.
I think that one, and then God, there's um, just I'm trying to my lyrics are
Oh,
so
you're good.
sometimes stream of conscious. Let's see. We
Hey,
could probably say
sometimes I
that.
go, I go something something Doritos, and I was like, I know that's not what I wrote, but
Yeah,
I
right,
get
right.
now.
Let me see here. I need a little cheat sheet.
I know when I sang "I'm a Believer" today. I know
Okay.
I sang something that was completely just. We
You
sound
know,
checked it with the first part of it, and I
hmm?
go, I don't know the words to the song,
That's a good one. Yeah.
but that is
You got to
okay.
feel that
'Cause I'll
one.
figure it out later.
Yep. Self-control. There's a lyric in self-control that puts me back in a spot too. Um, in the second verse there. Sometimes it's such a struggle just to stay awake, reaching out for your person just to say that it aches. Um,
Ooh,
that one comes out a lot too, because that's a double that those lyrics came from a very specific memory. A lot of my lyrics are just they're collections of memories or collections of times and like rewriting them or not rewriting the story, but necessarily but rewriting how I felt in that moment. And self control has a lot of that too, because it was written from one point of view, but wound up meaning something different to me. Um, but yeah, those lines on the second verse, and I think that could be I'll have to talk to my therapist about this, but that could be subconsciously why I mess up those lyrics from time to time on certain songs, is because maybe like I don't want to remember what they mean, or remember the event that led to their creation, perhaps. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to pose that to my therapist here soon. But yeah, those two lines come to mind really easy off the top of my head.
those are good. Uh,
Yeah.
I feel them. That's how good they are.
Yeah. Thank you very much. No, thank you.
Now, alternatively, here's
Mhm.
one. What is the most misinterpreted, misheard, or missung lyric?
Of
Like,
mine?
yeah, like, is there one that you just always forget and say something different? Or is it something that the audience will go, man, I like this lyric here, or, this is a
No,
really good lyric, and they go, yeah, that's not right at all. You did
frankly,
that.
no, because I haven't had the fortune to have anybody come up to me and tell me anything about that after a show. Because usually we're so busy packing up, or I'm at the merch table. I involuntarily don't make myself available as I should be after shows because I'm so
Busy.
spent. So
Yeah, yeah,
if somebody does have something that they want to talk to me about, they're always welcome to if they can catch me. I don't make myself. Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't make myself as available as I probably should after a set, because I have to tear down my stuff and get it loaded in really quick. Get off the stage fast enough, and not let everything linger on. But so I wish somebody would come up to me and enlighten me on something. But I do know when we did a tour recently with Little Venom, they're a great band. uh, their drummer was talking to me about how they love that line, clapping hands don't pay the rent, because I would do this emote where I clap, as I'm singing the lyric.
yeah,
And she was like, "You got to make that a thing." And I'm like, "I don't know if I could remember to do that every time in the energy, but you're not far off.
yeah.
Maybe if people get the hint a little bit more often to sing that lyric with me and do the little hand clap, that'd be a cool little audience participation thing." But
Yeah,
people will pick up on what they want to pick up on. But I
I'm a
think as
big
of right
sucker for
now,
audience participation. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, if it comes naturally, great. But I don't want to tell the audience, all right, on this part, sing this,
Yeah,
sing,
absolutely.
no one likes that.
No,
But yeah, so I would say it hasn't happened yet, and I would encourage people to do that.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just have I some people have argued this is three questions, not two. Um,
Okay.
but first one is plugs and shout outs. They consider those separate questions. Give me
Okay.
your plugs, give me your shout outs. But Plugs and
They,
shout
I could,
outs as a
I could see that.
whole sounds prettier.
It does. It does. I guess I would be of the brain that they are two separate things, but you can include them in one. They're two separate thoughts that can be included in one question, you know?
There, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
So,
plugs would be we are playing Phoenix again, August 18th. You're actually hearing this first because we're not announcing this until tomorrow. So after this comes out, we are opening for New Junk City in Phoenix on August
awesome.
18th at Rips Bar. We I don't know if I should tell this one just yet because I don't think we're going to announce it for a while. Is that we are doing an acoustic set opening for Dave Hawes in November in
Okay.
Phoenix.
I can cut
And
that out if when we get close to
okay,
it, you're like, let's cut that out. But
okay,
if you don't
we'll
say
see.
anything, it's staying in there. Just keep
All
that in
right,
mind.
all right, yeah, because I'll have to get with my PR team on that one. You know, my
Of
one
course.
man PR team, and and then I'd plug that. We are going on a tour in October that will take us from San Diego to Seattle. So a nice full little West Coast tour. And then shout outs to Kyle from Spanish Love Songs for producing and mixing our record. And um, really got to plug Little Venom, who toured with us, and shout them out. They're a plug and a shout out because they're an amazing band out of Seattle that I think more people need to know about. They're like an alternative rock and roll band that I really thoroughly enjoy. And um, I don't know. Shout out to the city of Portland, Oregon, for keep welcoming me back and being nice enough to me on Reddit and embracing me when I'm in town. Thank you, Portland. And you're going to be seeing a lot of us. So, but that's all I can really think of off the top of my head at the moment. And if I forgot anybody, I'm pretty sure you're mentioned in the liner notes of our new record, Still Here, which is out now. You can stream it wherever you consume your digital disposables. And if you'd like to buy one, you can buy one at ghostinthewillow.com or at our Bandcamp page. And yeah, we'll be around. We'll be on the road. So come say hi.
That's right. Well, that I gotta say before I ask this last question,
Mhm.
shouting out Portland, Oregon is quite a thing there.
Yeah.
Most people condemn Portland, Oregon as opposed to shouting it out.
Oh
So,
no.
hey,
No. We
Portland,
for all
Oregon is a different beast. If you
it is
can't handle it,
there's
it will
a
definitely let you know.
it'll eat you alive, but it'll at least lick you first.
Maybe your toe, most likely your toes.
No, I love that town, and it's been good to me on a personal level, and aside from breaking into our gear and that kind of thing, that's a one off. You know what I mean? Every relationship goes through its trials and tribulations.
Of course it does. Yeah,
So I know you didn't mean it, honey.
exactly, exactly. You know
So
exactly what's up.
and one last shout out. I want to thank my just he doesn't hear it enough, but my best friend Brendan Scholes from Mercy Music. I don't even think he's listening to this, and because I don't think he would have made it this far, but because he has far better things to do. But my good friend Brendan from Mercy Music, and I love his band, I love his music, but most importantly, I love him, and
You're
he's a
repping the
joy.
shirt.
Oh yeah, all the time. You know what I mean? Anytime I do, and he's far too humble, and he's a great person, and he's always looked after me, and I always try to look out for him, and always support the homies. So
Oh,
and one last thing is we got to just embrace our friends around us once in a while. So
that's right. Well, you guys know what to do. We got one last question, and this is for you. What song of yours do you want as the outro to the episode?
let's do. I don't know. That's a good question. Let's do
It
let's
is
do
my
Still Here.
favorite question. Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, my friend, for coming on the podcast. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you, Austin. I'm glad we could get it together.
Oh yeah, it took us a minute, but we got it
We got there.
through the
We
trials
got
and
there.
the tribulations, my friend.
Yes.
Well, you know what I say. Hit the up, down, left, right buttons. Click them, noodle them. I don't know what you do.
Click them and stick them.
Yep, click them and stick. I'm stealing that. That's it from now on. Click
All
them
right.
and stick them. You know what to do, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Cheers.
This has been Mullins Over Music Podcast, episode 99, with your host, producer, and editor. That's me, Austin Mullins. Special thanks to Gil of Ghost in the Willow for coming on the podcast. Closing track is Still Here by Ghost in the Willow. You can find Gil at Woody's Gear Corner, as well as Ghost in the Willow at Ghost in the Willow on all the socials. Be on the lookout for upcoming shows and music as they are announced. Thanks to Gil for coming on, chatting, and as well as being flexible on getting the episode recorded. As you say, the Gil Abides. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can check out the Patreon at the link in the description for behind the scenes early episodes and extra content I know that you will enjoy. Special thanks to viewers like you. Thank you, and until next time.
Time that you call, waiting around for your mom to drive us home. We're broken, we're tired, never going alone. Waiting around for your mom to drive us home. In this lifetime shooting, my lord, she only falls in love for the night. Another year left looking backwards, trying to write the next few chapters. Crushing daydreams fall the way up. Ain't it small how this love falls? And I'm still here with the fear of the next time that you call. Waiting around for your mom to drive us home.